Welcome to Acute Mania Live. A little bit of a different show today, and I'm really excited for this because I like doing the different ones. I'm always interviewing bands, and that's great. But these different shows are just kind of it's like a refresh kind of deal. I don't know. That's the best I can think of to say. But Chris Krave is with me from Krave Rock Radio. Welcome, Chris. It's very nice to have you.
Man, it's nice to be here, man. Thank you for having me.
For sure. Okay, I don't know too much about the radio industry. When I did journalism, I was it was more of the TV version of journalism, but I wanted to go into magazines. So like I don't know much about radio um, journalism or anything at all, or music or how that even works. How did you get into this stuff? And what was your kind of give us a background of Crave Rock?
Well, man, we started back in 2011. A friend of mine, actually, this thing started with a friend of mine. He was a musician, uh, singer in a band, and we sold cars together, this guy and I. Very, very, very close friend of mine. And one day we were outside on the lot. He said, "Hey, my band just sent me this CD, and I need to write the lyrics to this song." And so he said, "Hey, come in here, let me spit some ideas off of you." And first of all, who the fuck am I to, this guy? But hey, man, yes, absolutely. So I'm in there, I'm listening to the music, and I'm writing him. I'm seeing him write on this notepad, man, and he's just going at it, and he's singing, and he's stopping, and he's going, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And da 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 da. And I just thought the process was really cool, right? Well, fast forward a few years, his dad had bought a Ford dealership. So he said, "Hey, come out here to East Texas, this little bitty podunk town called Henderson, Texas, out in the middle of the pines, middle of nowhere, almost to the Louisiana." And I would go out there. I would take my clothes with me to work on Saturday because it's car business, man. You got to work on Saturday. And I would drive out there, the 3 hour drive, about once a month to go hang out with my boy and his family and everything. And he had started a band out there. But one day we were out there smoking stuff and drinking out there in the East Texas pines, overlooking his little pond, man. And I asked him, I said, "Dude, why? How is it that you are not famous? I don't understand. You're such a talented artist." And he had moderate success, but nothing spectacular. And he said, "Dude, to be honest with you, it's a money racket. It really is. You have to have a lot of money to get a lot of radio play." And I said, "Well, you know what? Somebody ought to change that. There's no reason why you, as an independent artist, should not be heard alongside Disturbed, Chevelle, these guys, right? You're just as good, you're just as talented, and I don't believe that money should get in the way of you having exposure to be heard with that. People need to hear that. There's an audience for people like you."
Right.
And man, and he said, "Well, that's just, it's just the way that it is." And I said, "No, fuck that, man.
Gonna
Somebody's going to
change
do
it.
something about that."
Yeah.
And I went home and I started getting into looking into what it would take to start a internet radio station.
Yeah.
And
Were you
man,
overwhelmed with what you found?
I was disappointed with what I found.
Yeah.
And the reason why I was disappointed was because it is very difficult. And even today, fast forward to, Crave Rock has been around. It'll be 14 years coming up in July. Thank you.
Nice.
And, there's just no money in it. Really, there's no money in it. It has to be a something of passion. Now, I mean, we're getting a lot of traction, and who knows what's going to happen because I think that the market has shifted since 2011.
Yeah.
It's definitely because I think that FM radio is dead.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's been out the
it's
door for a while, I think.
yeah, it's completely dead. And you have these big corporations that have completely taken over FM radio and just destroyed the industry.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, even satellite radio too. I mean, I have it. I just got a new truck, and it's included in your vehicle
yes,
purchase or whatever. I don't turn it on. I don't have no reason to turn it on.
it's the same songs. It's the same songs over and over and over
In a
again
loop. Yep.
in a loop, exactly. And charts have a little bit to do with that. The labels have a little bit to do with that. I had gotten discouraged and shut the radio station off in 2020.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because of COVID. A lot of people kind of assumed that it was COVID that I turned it off. I turned it off because I had gotten a lot of exposure and nominated in Las Vegas for Rock Radio Station of the Year, up and
Yeah.
coming rock radio station. And at that point, people started telling me how to run my radio station
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
and telling me, hey, you need to play these songs this amount of time, and you need to drop these independents. Some of these independents, you need to drop these, and these. You don't have room for these independents within a 24-hour period. We need you to spin these songs so many times per week. And they took it away from me, man. I mean, it was like, you're here for a reason. I got
Yeah.
your attention for a reason. And now you want me to change things so I can sound just like Sirius XM and FM. I don't want to
Yeah.
do that.
That's why you started to not do that, right?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So I wanted to be different, and I just said, hey, you know what? Maybe I should just rethink things. So I contacted everybody, and in October the 8th, actually, 2020, I turned it off, and I sent a message out to everybody, hey, we may come back, we may not.
Yeah.
And then I took 2 years to the day to really take a step back and say, hey, what was the initial goal? Where was I headed and what was it that I was trying to accomplish then? And
Kind of like a regroup, like step
yes,
back and
yeah,
regroup. Yeah.
yes.
Nice.
And I wanted to rebrand, and I think that 2 years of me just kind of taking a look at market trends and taking a look at who's doing what and what is successful with them, and kind of putting that all into a formula, and then also going back to my roots to create this new image of Krave Rock. And I think we've definitely done that. I think that we have a brand now that we can grow on, and I definitely see a lot of positivity. And we're available now. The app is available now in 29 countries.
Heck yeah. That's
Um,
nice.
I mean, thousands of users, and it just keeps growing. It really does. It's really cool. Um,
I was lucky to interview. Well, grateful. I don't lucky. I guess would be good. I don't know. I hate talking about these kind of things, but I was grateful to interview inside the Trojan Horse, and that's how I found you when they came out with how they run. You know, they sent me the announcement of them. They're going to premiere it on Crave Rock, and I was like, I never
yes,
heard of that. So I got the app on my phone. I was out at the time, so I got the app on my phone. I'm listening. I'm like, this is good stuff. You know, it's not what I hear on the local station. You know, there's more to it. You know, and
yes,
plus
thank
it
you.
shows you what's playing, and which is nice. And I was like, ooh, he's got a tab for podcasts. I got to talk to
Yes,
him. And then there's videos. So you can watch music videos. You know, there's
yes,
there's all this stuff on there on this simple app. And then when I get home, I'm like, wonder if I get this on my Mac because that would be a game changer because there are not too many apps available for Mac. You know,
yes,
that work the same way, or they're not very. You know, it's usually the phone or like a tablet that the apps work on. You know,
right.
so I was like, it works on my Mac and in the background, so I can do other things while I'm listening to the radio.
Yes,
You know, but it's
yes,
but it's good radio. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna hit him up and see if then I saw the contact form on your website. I mean, it's very easy to find you. You know, if you want to talk about anything, you know, there's
yes.
contact form there. You know, and just like I said, it's like you don't have to pay for anything for it to run in the background. Like usually,
No.
like YouTube, I think you have to pay for it, like the premium or something, to get it to play in the background. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
meaning like if you exit out of it, it won't stop basically.
Right, right.
So that was nice. So like I was like, this is mm-hmm. We're
Well, we wanted it to we wanted it to be something free. We're never going to charge. There's never going to be a subscription. I don't believe in that. I really, this is kind of like, we have this liner running on the radio station that says, this is not your dad's rock station.
yeah,
And that's true, but at the same time, this is, man, we're going back old school. We're going, I mean, way back, to where artists could just walk into a radio station and get their music played right there. They don't have to pay to get in there. And so if I'm not going to charge the artist, then I'm damn sure not going to charge the listeners because I want them to have access to these artists that they normally wouldn't find.
yeah.
So yeah,
That's
that's
great. Yeah, that's I'm excited with you. I mean, you've been doing this for what, 14 years now, but like
yeah,
because I kind of cater to independent bands. You know, that's what I like.
Yes.
I've had bigger names on, yes, but and every once in a while I will. But like, I would rather highlight these. There's a crap ton of bands for one thing, all over the world.
Yes.
There's just so many bands, and there's so many really good bands that people need to hear, and like
Yes.
that's why kind of like you know, hopefully somebody hears them through my platform or through your platform that'll elevate them to that next level. You know,
Yes.
that's what I try to do, and it's amazing to watch their growth after that. You know, like after you've had them on like after I've had them on my show and talk to them and they get excited and they start making this badass music and it's just like man, and then I get to
Yeah.
meet them, some of them in person. You know, and that's
Right.
nuts.
Right. Yeah. And you mentioned Inside the Trojan Horse. Man, I'm such a huge fan of those
Those
guys.
guys are awesome. Yes,
I
they're
mean,
awesome.
they're so awesome. Joe and the rest of the guys. I was such a huge fan of Red Sun Rising. I'm a huge Gemini Syndrome fan. And then,
Yeah.
man, you got Jibe as well. And you put all three of those badass bands together and you get Inside the Trojan Horse. It is insane. Those
I,
guys are
I'm
so
sure you
great,
see
man.
the stuff that they post on Instagram just about every day, like those crazy videos and stuff. I mean, it's just nuts.
Oh, I
You
love
know?
following them, man. I do. And to talk about that on my little segment there for Crave Rock.
Yeah, yeah, I heard that.
And I said, hey, follow them on social media because they are fun. They post these really
Yes.
great videos. So yes.
And when they were on the show, they had their, you know, they had their. I don't like to call them masks because they're not really masks, but they're head covering, I guess, where you
Yeah,
can't see their face. And
stockings.
yeah, they're stocking. But
Yeah.
I was like, are you guys going to sell those like as merch? And they're like, you know what? That's a good idea. I was like, I'll give you my address when we're done, so that way you can send me royalties for that idea. Thank you. You know? But you know, I was like, you guys should come to like Pittsburgh's the closest to me. It's about like an hour and a half.
Okay.
But I was like, you know, come to Pittsburgh and play when you do a tour. You know, because I'm sure they're going to tour. You would just think that they would.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, for sure, we'll let you know, and you can come hang out. I was like, that'd be the shit. You know, like I would love
Yeah.
to go and hang out. You know, so I don't know what
Yes.
they look like, but you know, look for the guys in the black stockings. You know, fine.
They'll stand out.
Yeah, and I think there is what is it? Nobody, no one, and nothing. Is that what they are? Is that what they go
That
by?
is correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's
Yes.
interesting, also. Yeah, it was a great show. But and then when we were done, when the live stream was over and everything, I think it was what Trevor, when the bass player is, he stayed on a little bit with me. I had a friend here co-hosting, and he stayed on for a little bit and let us hear the entire EP that's not even out yet. So
Oh,
that was
really?
awesome. Yeah, like
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't expecting that at all because you know a lot of that's secretive stuff.
Yes.
But yeah, that was that. So yeah, big props to those guys and a big shout out to them also.
Dude, that is I think that's one of the perks for me. I think
Yeah.
that's one of the perks when you have an artist share something with you before it gets out there in the rest of the world and they're like, hey, what
Yes.
do you think about this? It's like, dude, first of all, I'm fucking honored that
Yeah. Really.
you would
Yeah.
let me have this opportunity to hear this.
Hmm.
Uh, it's just a really great special feeling, man. It
It's
is.
happened more and more recently than you know before, but you know I think it's the putting you know I'm trusting they're trusting me not to play it anywhere, you know,
Yes.
and I never do. I don't even let my closest friends hear it. You know, it's
Right.
just me, my ears only, and that's the way it was intended. So I think that's why. But like Rain of Z that we heard at the beginning of the show, I've heard their new single, and plus they played it, you know, on the tour. But you know, I was wanting to play it on this show, and they're like, yeah, we haven't, you know, it's not licensed, and that's not
Right.
ready for distribution. But second week of December, I don't know the exact date, but that'd be awesome for Crave Radio, maybe.
Yeah, man.
I told
Yeah.
them that last night. I was like, "What song would you want me to play for Chris?" Because you know the new one would be great because I have it, you know, obviously because they sent it to me.
Yes.
But I don't. That's I can't. You know, whatever they want to do. You know. Okay, I don't know. I don't know. I've had bands from Texas on the show that represent
Hmm.
Texas, but I don't. Thinking back, I don't think I've done one from had anybody from Dallas, so I don't know too much about Dallas other than like the Cowboys or the Mavericks, you know, sports
Yeah.
teams and things. But what's the music scene like there?
Music scene is strong. I think that pre-COVID, it was 2018, it was probably, really strong. But I think that it's making a comeback. Unfortunately, we lost a lot of venues.
Yeah, same with like
But
Pittsburgh, you know.
yeah, yeah. But we're starting slowly but surely, we're starting to get back some really badass venues. and the strong venues, the uh, iconic trees, which is I didn't know this until a few years ago. I really didn't because I wasn't in the rock scene back then. I'm not a musician. I'm just a fan,
Yeah.
right? But Kurt Cobain got into it with a bouncer at Trees way back in the 90s. And it was because he was really fucked up, man.
Shocking, right? Shocking. I
Right,
mean,
right. But Trees is still going strong, and we have some new ones that opened up in Fort Worth. I'm closest to Fort Worth, as far as where I live.
mhm,
So, um, because this is only my part-time thing, and I work, so
yeah,
I prefer not to, because I'm west of Fort Worth. I prefer not to drive all the way to Dallas.
yeah,
But the music scene is strong. It really is. And we have a lot of great talent, man. Empires, which was just on Billboard with Messer. These are both
sure. Yeah, I know Messer.
two Dallas bands. You know Messer.
I know
Okay.
Messer. Yep.
Yeah, Maddox and I, he's a great guy.
I've been
And
trying to
we
get them
put,
on the show, so if you know them really well, pressure them to be on my show because
okay, man.
I've been
Okay,
been
I
trying to
can
get
do
them on
that.
for
I
four
can do
years
that.
now.
I'll give Maddox some shit.
Yeah, for
So
sure. Definitely do that.
Those are great guys, man. So I think
They
that
are.
we have a very vibrant rock music scene for sure. And I think, and I hope that it's not just Dallas, but I see there's like this movement going on. And maybe it's just me looking within my bubble, but it just seems like there's this movement going on where rock music is becoming popular again. You have these metalcore bands that are making these waves and getting all these streams and selling all these records. And it just seems like people are starting to pay attention to rock music again, which is
Yeah,
great for you, which is great for me, and it's great
yeah,
for the artist.
yeah, exactly, exactly. I got to give a shout out to my buddy in the chat, in the live chat on YouTube. If you're watching the show, you can chat. It's free. Ask Chris some questions. Ask me some questions. Ask us about something that doesn't even have to do with what we're talking about. It doesn't matter. Anyway, my buddy Coley, his name's John, but he goes by Coley.
Okay.
He's from Beaumont in Texas,
Okay.
originally, but he spent some time up here in West Virginia, and that's how I met him. He just lived right up the street from me when he lived here, but now he's back in Houston. So he's in Houston, and he's in the chat, and he says, "Ahoy from Houston." So,
What's up, H-Town?
so he says, let's see where he's. Let me move this over. He said, "Loud guitars are always good." Yes, I mean, yeah, yeah. He's a
Yes,
musician. He's an accomplished musician. Like he's very good, and I learned a lot from him during his time up here. So anyway,
that's what's up.
okay, before we went live. You were starting to tell me a story about Silent Theory, and we kind of both paused ourselves, and we're like, wait, let's
Yes.
do this on the show. Do you want to go ahead and tell this story because I'm eager to hear the rest of it. But
All right,
if
man.
you could start from
So
the beginning, that'd be good.
okay, all right. So we'll fill them in. So, doing this, I've gotten the opportunity to go kind of all over the country. Well, at least from the Midwest to the West. Haven't scratched the surface of the East Coast, but
You need to come over. You're welcome. You're
well,
welcome.
thank you, man. Thank you. Uh, Silent Theory was doing their debut album CD release, and it was at this golly, it was called like the Third Wheel or something. I can't remember the name of the venue, but they flew me out to broadcast this show live.
Heck yeah.
And this was when this epic song, I mean, it was just so badass. Fragile Mind was uh that was their song. That was their breakout song, and this is the album. And here I am. I land, first of all, in September in Texas, it's 100 and whatever degrees outside, right? So I'm in shorts, I'm in a t-shirt, and I get on a plane. I go to Idaho. I land in Lewiston, Idaho, and it's fucking cold, man.
Yeah.
For me, anyway, because
Yeah.
I left Texas, which was 100 degrees outside, and I land there, it's like 50 degrees, and I'm wearing
Uh,
shorts, so I'm an idiot. I
Freeze
didn't
your ass.
bother to check the weather before I left. And the band meets me there at the airport. They pick me up, and they said, "Hey, do you want to go across the bridge to Washington?"
Sure.
And I said, okay, yeah, sure. And they said, there's dispensaries over there. Well, I'm from Texas. I don't know what a fucking dispensary is.
Yeah.
I know what they are, but I've
Yeah,
never
right. Yeah.
seen one,
Yeah.
right? So we go and I get some stuff and
The wacky tobacco is what we're talking
I got a
about,
little wacky tobacco, man, a little smoky smoke, a little edibles.
right?
And I go for this CD release party, which, by the way, was a badass show. It really was. But then afterward, I was so fucking high, man. I was afraid that TSA would not let me on the plane.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I was trash, dude. And I was flying in and then flying right back out. I had to be at the airport at 4 o'clock in the morning after the
Oh
show.
man, yeah.
So I'm
The red
stoned as
eyes.
hell. I think my ass, there may still be a piece of my melted ass on somebody's couch there.
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Because that's
crazy.
exactly how I felt. I felt like I melted into the couch.
Coley said it's 86 today in Houston. That sounds about right. But see, there's no humidity in Texas. Is there? Like, I mean, we have
Oh
humidity.
yeah.
Oh, there
Oh
is.
yeah,
Okay,
it's humid
yeah.
as hell.
So I know, like out in Phoenix and stuff, it gets like 110, but there's not really any humidity.
Right.
Like you can't. Our summertime, well, Coley knows it sucks. It's like it could be like 85 degrees. That doesn't sound too bad, right?
Right.
But like 100% humidity. So like when you walk outside, you can't breathe and everything's sticky and just ugh. You
It's
know what
the
I mean?
same here, worse in Houston. Worse in Houston.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's bad. Now you go to West Texas, no big deal. It's
yeah.
just hot.
Yeah.
But here, yeah, it's humid as hell,
I
man.
mean, I remember seeing it on like I watched the weather. I don't know. When I interned at a news station, I hung out with the weather guy like a lot.
Mhm,
But so I watched the weather all over the United States just to see what's happening, and the amount of like red flag warnings where potential for wildfires and
mhm.
it is in hot weather, just like what do they call it, extreme heat indexes and things like that. It seems like it's gone up in the last at least 5 years or so since I've been paying attention. But I mean, does that sound right? I mean, like it seems like it's getting hotter and hotter. We're just gonna bake, you know?
It's the cows, man.
It's the cows. The cows. What do you mean by the cows? They're
It's
just
they fart.
like
The methane, man.
yeah, it's
It's
true. Yeah, yeah, that's a good
no, I
point.
don't know
I
what
never
it
thought of
is,
it like
man.
that.
I just think that it's
The
you
dung.
know, I just yeah, I just think the Earth is warming up. I mean, it's gotten colder, it's gotten hotter, it's gotten colder. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, we're supposed to have
I
a
try not to
snowstorm
get
next
too
week.
political.
Our first snowstorm next week, but like of epic proportions. They're saying, of course, TikTok elaborates it like it's WebMD. Like when you look up a stomach ache on WebMD, it's pretty much you're gonna die. You know, and TikTok does the same thing with the weather. Basically, 1 to 2 inches of snow is going to be 1 to 2 feet.
Oh, really?
But I don't know who to believe because I mean, like, I don't. That'd be terrific if it was 1 to 2 feet, but
Right.
I don't really sled ride anymore. But damn it, I would. Put a couple snow penises or something. Um, Matt Miller is in the chat, and we'll listen to his band Crimson Rain when we take a little break.
All right.
But Matt Miller is the guitar player for Crimson Throne, and he says the East Coast is pretty awful for that too. And yeah, I mean, 98% humidity, Coley says today, there in Houston. He said Houston is a swamp, and then parentheses bayou.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is. I have my wife has family that lives in Houston, so
How
yeah.
is it? So Dallas is north of.
Yeah, we're in North Texas. Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Um, okay. Well, since Matt's in the chat and he's obviously watching, let's go ahead and listen to his band. We'll just take a little
Okay.
break. We'll take a little break here, and then when we come back, we'll maybe we'll do one of those segments we talked about. Maybe we'll do
Okay,
the
yeah.
weird. I'm thinking the weird question one because that's
Weird
never.
question is good, man.
Okay.
I
All
like
right.
it.
You like that one? Okay. All right. Let's listen to Crimson Throne's a band that I recently saw in Baltimore up at a venue called Zen West. Really cool venue, Zen West up there in Baltimore. And these guys are from Harford County, which is north of Baltimore. I guess Baltimore County is Baltimore. I'm pretty sure. Maybe Matt can chime in there. But like Bel Air, Havre de Grace area is where they're from, and they're going to be on the show this coming Friday at 6 p.m. So make sure you watch that, and we'll learn all about them. And this is one of the songs that we'll play on that show, and this is their newest single. It's called Skyline. So take a little break, listen to some Crimson Throne, it's badass, and we'll be right back with Chris. So good. So
That is
good.
badass, man.
I cannot wait to talk to them next week. It's going to be fun. That show is at 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you join us for that. Let's see. Okay. This I need a jingle for this. We were talking about that also before we went live. You know how you make the radio guy sound. You know, like the guy that says
Hmm.
Krave Rock Radio. Or what you know. I see. I can't do that. I wouldn't be able to just Krave Rock. Listen to Krave Rock. It just doesn't sound very good. It's too crispy or something. You know what I mean? Too much treble.
Honestly, I hate my own voice.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
You actually have a good radio voice. I think. I mean, you sound
Well,
like
thank you.
a radio DJ.
But I get that. As a matter of fact, I went to the store today. I loaded up on some food right before the call, and before that, I stopped at the grocery store, and this little lady our older lady goes, "Hey, what's the meaning of the tattoo?" And the tattoo, eh, that's terrible. Okay, so
Yeah, I see it now. That's
it's a
awesome.
skull hand
Yeah.
holding a vintage microphone, and she said, "Well, what is the meaning behind the tattoo?" And I said, "Well, I'm a radio personality, and I plan on doing this till I die."
Yeah.
So
Got to be marked. Yeah.
yeah. So that's the
A
meaning
little
behind
old
the
lady
tattoo.
asked you that? That's awesome. She must be a
Yeah, that
rocker.
was really cool. And then she said, "Well, you do have a personality, and you do have a voice for that." And I said, "Well, thank you, and whatever." But me
Whatever.
personally, I just don't care for my voice. I don't know what it is.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, like there are some, there was a guy locally here, well, in the area that unfortunately he passed away by some rare he had got some rare disease and didn't didn't last very long. It sucked because he died young, but he was the
Wow,
pretty much the voice of the area, and he had this distinct voice. His name was Lacey Neff, which and that was his real name. That wasn't even his like radio name, Lacey Neff.
wow,
And I got to DJ alongside of him. I used to DJ nightclubs, and I got to DJ alongside of him a couple times, which was badass. But he just had that voice, that distinct voice, kind of like
yeah.
Denzel Washington, or not Denzel Washington. What's the other guy that does like the voiceover? The really,
James Earl Jones, the one that just
yeah,
died.
him. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, James Earl Jones. Yeah, so it's kind of like that, where it's just an iconic voice where they were just born that way. I guess I
yeah,
don't know
yeah.
for like a better word.
Commanding.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I mean, but there has to be in radio or in any kind of like TV or anything, you have to have like a certain good voice
right.
that's not monotone, and I mean, I read about this one time on something when I was just looking at things for to enhance my show and think, is my voice okay? But one of them was like, don't end sentences that aren't questions with a question.
Right.
There are people that talk like that.
Yes.
And it's like it's very annoying. It's very
Yes.
annoying. But you have to have a personality in your voice. It was one of the things that it said,
Right. Yes. Yes.
which
And,
is
and when there always that kid that it was in your neighborhood that talked that way? There was always one kid in my neighborhood, no matter what neighborhood that was. We were pretty much nomadic when I was a kid. Uh, but there was always that one kid that, and we're gonna play like this,
oh yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah,
And he's probably got more money than anybody now.
right.
That guy. Coley wants to know what kind of vintage mic you have tattooed on you.
Um, I,
You know.
that's a damn good question. See, that's how you know I'm not an artist.
Well, put it up again, and he could probably he's one of those guys that could probably
Okay,
see it. And
let's see here. Oh,
yeah, gonna
it's hold
yeah,
on.
you got to go in
It's
and
the
out of the
background.
thing.
Wait for
Yeah,
it.
yeah, there it is.
And there we go.
Yeah, he might be able to figure that out. Coley, get on it. Get on that. I got a new tattoo the other day also on that kind of area of the arm.
Oh, okay, badass, man.
That's a sigil. It's called a sigil. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Yes.
But a band called Dream the Heavy from Pittsburgh. Really cool guys. Really good stuff. I'll just send you a list of all these good bands that
Yeah, absolutely, man. Do that.
that I've had on. So, but Dream the Heavy, they're good friends of mine, and
I'm
um,
always looking.
this is their pretty much their logo. I mean, their logo is in a better form than that. But that was their stickers up there on them. I keep all the stickers. If you have a Krave Rock sticker, you have any Krave Rock stickers?
I absolutely do. I do.
They will
And
go up
so,
everywhere. I
yes,
will put it right here where everybody can see on every show.
bet, man, that sounds like a plan.
I,
And we just launched soft launch. It's not it's not out there yet because we haven't advertised it, but we just launched our store. We had a store, and unfortunately, man, it just wasn't working with this company.
yeah.
We had to. I'm a perfectionist when it comes to what we do,
Hmm.
and because
Same
I
here.
know that if it's not quality, and that was the main thing is, I saw these other internet radio stations back then when I first started out, and I was like, well, their website looks like crap, or,
Yeah.
and I'm not one to judge, but I'm just saying, just for me, that was not what I wanted. I wanted it to be 100% quality because I believe that nobody would take me serious
Yeah.
unless
Exactly.
we were out there and it looked legit. And so we were having some issues with our previous distributor, and I had a customer that messaged me or emailed into the company and said, "Hey, this shirt that I got it's garbage."
Yeah.
and it took me 7 weeks to get it, and I freaked out,
Jeez.
man. I
This
freaked
is-
out, and I refunded the lady the money, and I reached out to the company. I was like, guys, what happened here? And I just didn't like the response. And so what I did was I reached out to several bands and I said, hey, who do you guys use?
Yeah, that's the best way
Um,
to go, I think.
and sure enough, I found this company that is very brand friendly. And because they're band friendly, I and so many other bands that I knew had mentioned them. I said, dude, I have to go with this company.
If you want to mention
And
them, you can. I mean, I don't, it's up to you, but
Printful is who we decided to
Printful.
go with.
Awesome.
Yeah. I reached out to a couple of different ones and because I wanted to talk to these people first,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And Printful just seemed to be the one that was on it the most.
Hmm.
So if several bands trust them, then I trust them.
I'm the same way when it, especially shirts, t-shirts. I chose to wear my own shirt today,
So I
but
did too.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you have to represent your brand
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
But I have if I'm not comfortable wearing this shirt, I'm not. I don't want to. I give away things. You have to
Yes.
give away. You have to. It's promotion. So if I'm not going to give away this shirt to anybody else if I'm not comfortable sleeping in it.
Yes.
That's how much of a perfectionist with shirts I am. I'm sure you've had gotten a band shirt or any kind of shirt that's been scratchy, just like
Yeah.
scratchy material. It's just
Yeah.
scratchy. You don't want to sleep in it. You really don't want to wear it that long. Like
No.
you'll wear it just to represent the band, maybe when you go see them, but
Right.
then it's coming off. You just
Yes.
so like, and I think I don't know. It took me forever to figure out what kind of material they're using that I need to avoid.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what material this is, but I know the company that makes it that makes this. They make the logo that I have here, and several things that well, temporary tattoos. I'll send you a couple of these for your
Sweet.
since you have a good forehead with with no hair up
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
So
Bam.
yeah, that'd be perfect advertising. They make all the stickers and all that stuff. They're Sticker Mule is who they are. I don't
Oh
mind
yeah.
saying that.
Yeah. I've
They're a
used
great
Sticker
company,
Mule.
great customer service. I mean, I've always Cole even knows I used them before I even did this show for other things. And but that's what it takes. I'm willing to pay a little bit extra for a good shirt or a good sticker
Yes.
than just for a bulk bunch of crap. You know,
Yes.
for lack of
Absolutely.
better words.
Man, I was curious. I saw right before we went to We Were Young, we went out to We Were Young this past October, last month.
Yeah, that was
Uh,
in Vegas, right?
yes, and we had a blast. As a matter of fact, we're going again next year. We got our tickets, and so we got lucky that we got our tickets. It sold out in 3 hours, man.
Jesus.
Shit. So, we got lucky and we got our tickets, and so we're going the first day next year again. But we were gonna go. We took a whole bunch of merch with us. We took a bunch of shirts. We took like 50 stickers, and we gave out every single one that we when we were there. But I saw that Sticker Mule has these temporary tattoos, and I'm curious.
That's what
I'm
these are for.
thinking I might have to order those for next year.
This is my fourth order of these,
Oh
and
yeah,
I've
okay.
had them in different. I had them in the yellow logo, but they didn't look very good. I don't think they didn't show up very well. But I
Yeah.
think the black is perft.
Yeah, so the
And
black definitely stands
the
out,
white
man.
goes away, when you put it on. It's just the
Yeah.
black that shows up. So I ordered more of these, and the yellow ones were smaller too. And I was like, I can't go any smaller because then you can't see them.
Yes.
So yeah, it's perfect for four. If you have a gigantic forehead, it's perfect for that.
It's perfect, man. And
Boom.
and I have a massive one. So yes, absolutely. Endless forehead.
I've had one problem with Sticker Mule, and they fixed it. Okay, and I'll show you the fix here in a second. But they sent me. I wanted to a like a three by it was like a 3x3 or a 4x4 sticker of my logo, but I wanted to take out the live music video cast thing at the bottom and put my website address
Yes.
down. So you pretty much make your own. You send them the logo and you just tell them what you want, how you want it, and they send you a proof and you just approve it. Well, I approved it just because it looked good on the proof. Well, when I
Yeah.
got it, the website was letters were so small that you'd have to go like this to read it. So I was like, I ordered this in 4x4 square. You wouldn't think that you would have to like downsize it at all because it's 4x4. I mean, how
Yeah.
difficult can that be?
Yeah.
So I over a few emails, I had them send me a true 4x4 sticker of something that I wanted, and
Yeah.
they actually designed the background to kind of match the shirt because the shirt's you can't really tell in here because it looks black, but it's actually navy blue.
Uh-huh.
So they made a navy blue sticker and sent me the same quantity that I'd ordered, but I think it was like 20 just to see.
Yeah.
So I
That's a
had some
cool logo, by the way.
these. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually designed that myself. That's another thing that I'll touch on here real quick before I'll show you this.
Well, you know the Krave Rock app,
I got this one
the
also.
hand.
I did it. Whoops. I did it in red also because I kind of like the red a little bit better than the
Yeah,
yellow.
that's cool, man.
Anyway,
That's cool.
I'll send you some of these out.
Well, thank you.
Sure.
The Krave Rock hand is actually my left hand.
That's yours. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
that's my left hand. And
I like
one
that. I
day,
like your left hand. It's badass.
th this is I'm left-handed, so um, at one day I was sitting in my office and I just took a picture of my hand and
Going like
I
this.
yeah, just like that, the horns, you know,
That's awesome.
and I just left it alone. I didn't touch it for years and
Your
years and years
hand.
and years.
Your hand you didn't touch, or the picture of your hand.
Other things.
Okay.
No, no, I didn't touch this picture, man. I just left it. I could never figure out exactly what I was going to use it for. It just never did come to me. And then when we launched the app, and the app is only not quite a year old yet. When we launched the app, I said, "Holy shit, I can finally use my hand. Right? I can finally use
I'll
this
be damned.
picture." So I played with it a little bit
Your
in
hand.
Photoshop, and then I came up with that, just the plain black and white. And so now there it is. Now it all makes sense, you know, full circle, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, however long it's been since I took a picture of my hand sitting at my desk. There it is. That's what I took the picture for. Holy shit, you know, and I think brand
It's the
recognition.
icon of the app that I have on my phone here. You
Yeah,
can't see
yeah,
it, but that's the icon of. Go get the app, the Crave Rock app. I'm telling you, all of you, everyone that watches this show, go get this app. It's fun. It's
absolutely
a
free.
fun app. It's just fun,
Well,
and it's great music.
well, thank you. Thank you, man. We definitely try. You know, we add probably and we do search on a regular basis. We're constantly looking for bands, and I think we probably add about 35 bands a week. And whether it's independent or the big national acts, I mean, that's just we want to make sure that we keep our playlist fresh. We're constantly working on those, and we're constantly adding to it. And I just think that you know that's really important, man. It's really important to try to discover these bands, and also one thing that I think that we do that you won't get, and I don't want to go on a soapbox or anything, but I hate, or I don't hate, I despise Spotify. I really do. I despise Spotify. To me,
I don't like
Spotify
it
is
either.
the Walmart of music.
I don't like it either. It's not very. It's not if you don't pay for it and you type in somebody that you want to hear, it plays something completely different. What's the
Right.
point of that? What is the point? There's no
It
point in
does.
doing that. You know.
And another thing, and artists have pointed this out too. One thing that Spotify does not do, it does not let the artist know where their target market is. They don't say, "Oh, well, you've got X amount of listeners in Philadelphia or West Virginia or Dallas or LA." They don't break it down for the
Apple
artist
does
like that.
that. Apple does that. Apple Music does.
Apple does that.
Mhm.
But Spotify doesn't really let them know where their audience is. And that's the difference. If a band asks me, "Hey, where are they listening from?" I can tell you. I mean, I know where these people are listening from. Another reason I don't like Spotify is, I mean, man, how many spins do you have to get? How many streams do you have to get to make $1 million? The average artist is paid, and I'm not saying that I pay a hell of a lot more per stream. We do pay artist royalties, of course, right? Otherwise, we wouldn't be in business.
Sure.
But we do pay for per stream. But the average artist only gets 0.003 to 0.005 of a cent. And then they really don't know where their target market is. And I think that that's the difference between us is that we can tell you where they are and we're going to support you. And that's the other thing. We support bands. I mean, if you've got a tour coming up, we're going to talk about it. Or if it's your birthday, we're definitely going to say, we're going to make a video and say,
I
it might
noticed
be.
that on your feed. You do the happy birthdays to
Yeah,
the
yeah, we do
artists.
the happy
That's great.
birthdays. We do album releases, album anniversaries. We got a lot more stuff that we have in the works. So, everything is kind of growing, but I think that artist support is something that we offer that Spotify can't. And while I think it's great that bands are getting out there, I think that us the ones that are doing the work to support them, I think that that's more valuable. It's
For sure.
more valuable for the band, and it's more valuable for the fan as well. And I think that that's what kind of sets us apart. That and we're free.
That's true. And that's huge.
Yeah,
That's huge. People don't want to pay for something if they don't know what they're getting. And
right.
sometimes you might be able to offer a free trial, but isn't it better just to just do it for free?
Yeah, yeah,
That way, there's nobody secluded or secluded from any content. Everybody gets what
right,
everybody gets. It's just great. Yeah, here and there, you got to put your call sign in there, but that's all they're really going to hear. You're not going to hear a
right,
commercial
right.
for razors. You know what I mean? For 30
Right. I
seconds.
mean, we'll make our money. We will make our money, whether it's banner ads on the app
Yeah.
with no audio, obviously,
Right.
but banner ads on the app and merch sales. We do, or we have had in the past, we've done a lot of events, kind of took a step away from that. Just because right now the focus is content and quality, whether it's the website, whether it's the merchandise, whether it's the app. Right now, we're not really focused on putting any live events together just yet because I think that we have a lot of work to do. And I'm not going to do, I used to do this once a year, typically around the third week of July, we would do Crave Fest. It's an indoor
Nice.
music festival and we would get bands. First of all, it started out just local bands, Dallas Fort Worth local bands, and then we started to expand outside of the Dallas Fort Worth metroplex and pull in uh, the smaller bands and doing an indoor event, and then also having anything rock related, whether it's tattoo artists coming in and doing tattoos there on the at the venue, or
Or
food,
girls
or
in bikinis, or
doing bike. Yes, we've done that too. Yes. So of
sorry, I just
course.
yeah.
But
I've wanted to do an Acute Mania Live festival, for several years now. I've wanted to do that, but it's a big undertaking to put something like that
it
together,
is.
especially on your own,
Yes.
but I mean, it'll come at some point.
Yes. Yes.
But
Yeah. It can be a
I'm
pain
always
in the
thinking
ass.
of girls in bikinis for that. That seems to be a good thing.
Those are definitely good things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In cages, maybe. I don't know. That's not. I mean, we'll let them out at some point.
Yeah, I mean you can let them out.
But Coley said he had to run. He said, "Got to go. I've so enjoyed listening to you both, like sitting in my living room. Thank you." He's currently in the hospital. I'll tell you about that when we kill
Oh
live show.
man. Well,
But
hope
yeah,
you get
he,
better
he
soon.
he keeps up on everything. Okay, what do you say we do this random question thing? Because we're about
Okay.
to the end of the show here, and I don't want to keep you. I know you're busy. There's constantly things to do. There's constantly things for me to do on my show. But when I'm
Right.
on my show, it's you. You know what I mean?
Well, thank you.
Okay, so this segment, it's kind of new for those of you that watch all the time. I did a wiener segment for a while, so you avoided that. That was just about hot dogs. I know it sounds a little bit not
Okay.
like hot dogs, but I did that for a year and a half, and I stopped doing that at the beginning of the year when I introduced my new logo and just kind of like took a step back and just kind of changed things. So I did a landmark segment for a while, and I was like, I want to do something a little bit more fun because that was good at the start of it. Then it kind of fell off, and it was kind
Uh-huh.
of like. So I was like, well, what if I just do random questions where they just have to really think, but they
Okay.
can think of something. So I decided to call it off stage, and it's basically just random questions. So let me
Okay.
let me look at I have a couple new ones here. That I think I'll challenge you with a couple new ones. Okay. Let's see. If you could invent a new holiday, what would it be called, and how would it be celebrated? So, like something like International Day of Doing Nothing, or National Noodle Days, just something just totally off the wall holiday. What would it be called, and how would you want it to be celebrated throughout
Oh,
the
that's a
land?
man. Okay. All right. Man, the wheels are in motion right now. Hold
Yes,
on.
that's what it's for. That's why. Yeah.
Okay. Huh.
I need to make some samples for this, like not really a Jeopardy theme, but just some kind of thinking music.
I think there ought to be a day where it is socially acceptable to flip off anyone driving fast in the fast lane. I mean, slow in the fast lane.
I got yes, yes. I I'm
And I don't know what we would call it.
gonna
Um,
do this. Yes, people clapping, applause.
but I totally endorse this day.
I mean, yes, I agree with this. Also, I do it
God, it's
anyway. I mean,
frustrating, man.
like I do it on the daily. But a celebrated day would be perfect
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
when it's socially acceptable throughout.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know what we would call that though.
Um, I'm sure we can think of something.
I'm sure we could.
I'm
Just
on board for that though, for sure. What does he say? Matt says I'd call that Carthasis Day.
Carthasis Day.
That would be good.
Okay.
We'll
All
go with
right.
that, Matt. Okay. Everybody always chooses the latter, so I'm going to go for the. I'm not going to give you the choice. I'm just going to do the other one.
Okay.
Okay, you're trapped in an escape room. Okay, have you heard of these escape rooms where you have to try to
Yes.
get out? I don't see the point in them really. I don't want to be trapped anywhere and try to have to get out unless I'm forced in there. Um, what's okay? So this question is more about like if you were in a band. So we'll say okay, you're trapped in an escape room themed around your Krave Rock, your radio station. It's all themed of that. What's the one thing in that room that immediately gives you the clue to escape?
I'm sorry, there was a tractor driving by. Did you?
A tractor? Like a
It
tractor
sounded
trailer
like a
or like a
tractor.
cow tractor?
It sounded like a tractor. It might have been a motorcycle, man. Who
Okay.
knows?
All right, you're trapped in an escape room themed
Uh-huh.
around your radio station. Okay,
Yeah.
it's all themed of Crave Rock. What's the one thing in the room that immediately gives you the clue to escape?
An exit sign?
An exit sign.
No, that doesn't work, huh? That's
I mean,
cheating.
it's your there's no I don't have any right answers or wrong answers.
Um,
A tractor would be good. Maybe.
it could be a tractor driving through, driving
I don't
by.
know. I don't like that question though. Do you? It just doesn't. I don't know. Let's skip that. We'll skip that one. That one doesn't
Okay.
work. I'll erase that one from the the manifest. I guess. Okay. Um. Oh, you like to eat, I'm sure, right? Right? Like we all like to eat. You
Do
like
I
to eat?
like the Eagles?
No, to eat. You like to like.
Oh, to eat. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It helps me stay alive. So yes.
Okay. If you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, but it had to be something weird, like a cloud or a shoe or something, what would you choose? I knew that would be a good one. That's a newer question too
Okay.
for the folks. Now,
Huh.
Matt, if you're still watching, you're going to get completely different questions. So don't even just try
And
to.
it can't, can
It
it
can't be
not
actual.
be a regular food?
Yeah, it can't be an actual food that we have now. It's got to be something like weird, like a shoe or something, or
Okay.
a microphone or whatever.
Can it be a female body part?
Sure.
Oh, well, then you already know the answer.
Oh yes, yes. Let's see. Where's the? I got these new sample things here, and we'll do that one. Yeah. Or it could also be that one. That's good. Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to
See
hell.
that I'm gonna clip that out and use it for a clip later.
My
Uh,
wife she told me to be on my best behavior before she left the
you
house
are you,
today.
you are. I mean, and
I'm being good? Oh,
she's
okay.
learning things from you also, especially if she's watching.
This is true.
We'll do one more. We'll do one more. Do you have any like useless talents, like, or can you do any party tricks? Like, can you? I had a guy, the ultimatum I had on from Thunder Bay, Ontario last week, and the singer could turn his eyelids inside out. Can you do anything like that, or do you know any magic tricks or anything like that?
Um, Man, when I was a kid, I used to bang the hell out of my hand on the
What?
desk with my fist like a
Why?
crazy psycho kid, and all the other kids thought it was cool. But then looking back, it's like that kid had problems.
What?
Me, I had problems
Why did you do? Why? Just to do
because
it?
it didn't hurt, right? I
Oh,
mean, I would sit here and I would bang on my hand, and I thought maybe I might have had like hands of steel or
you still
something.
do that sometimes,
Not in the past week,
or
no.
not in public?
No, man, I'm pretty boring. I'm pretty plain. Um, I don't.
Can you wiggle your ears? Can you do that? See, I
I
can.
can't. No, no. I mean, I can do it with my fingers,
Well, yeah, everybody can
but
do that.
no, I can't
How
do
about
anything.
can you do this with your tongue?
I can.
Yeah.
Oh
See,
yeah,
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 there you
yeah,
go. Yeah,
yeah. I can
that's a
do that.
talent. That'll count.
So
Yeah,
it's a tongue straw. Yeah,
it could be. Yeah, yeah. If you're
it
into
could
that
be a
kind of
tongue
thing.
straw.
If you're into that, yeah, and you
Yeah,
could probably go along with the food thing too. It could go along with
yeah,
that,
yeah,
especially the one you picked.
yeah.
That was
Definitely
great.
helpful.
Great.
Yes.
Well, I guess we're kind of at the end of the show. That sucks because there's so many questions and so much more I want to talk to you about, like more about silent theory and things like that. But I really want to work with you with bands. I have all these great independent bands. Crimson Throne will be on next Friday. They're excellent. You heard a little bit of them.
Yeah.
Reign of Z. They Reign of Z tours. Let's see. I think this year they toured 95 days out of the year, which is huge for an
Yeah.
independent band.
That's
And so
crazy.
I'd like to throw you some of their material, especially their new one coming out in December. But something like that. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it and see what we can do for
Well,
each
one
other.
thing I wanted before we go, because we were talking about them, I'm such a huge fan of Silent Theory, and I just want to. Last week on Crave Rock, we had Silent Theory and the Veer Union,
I know them.
two
Love
amazing
them.
bands.
Love them.
Crispin is a great artist. Dakota is a great artist. These guys and both bands got together and they came up with this badass song. It was our headliner on Crave Rock last week. It's called "Welcome to Dystopia." This song is absolutely sick. Just check it out. Speaking
I
of
will.
Silent Theory, I just wanted to mention that because that's their new single with the Veer Union, and that's just an insane song. So,
I will definitely
uh,
check that out for sure. Yes. Yes, I found the Beer Union on Instagram when I made the switch from Facebook to Instagram years ago, and they were one of the first bands to pop up in my feed, and I was like, these guys are the shit.
oh yeah, yeah. They're an amazing band and self-produced. I mean, everything is about these guys are 100% independent and just super talented, man. Super talented. But yeah, man, I would love to spend some more time with you
We'll do
anytime,
it
man.
again.
I would
We'll do it
love.
again
I had a
soon.
blast.
Yeah, we'll do it again. We'll do it again soon. I'm sure. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
and I'm sure that we've got to get you on the Crave Rock app and get this show on here as
Definitely. Thank
well.
you. I appreciate that.
I think that those that is just one of the cool things about that app is it doesn't have to be about the music stream. It doesn't. You can totally go you can totally listen to Joe Rogan if you want to, or
Yeah.
Eddie Trunk, or whoever.
Sivo, I saw on there too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's just crazy. I jumped on that, man.
Yeah.
As soon as that contract ended with Spotify and exclusivity contract,
Sure.
the very next day Joe Rogan was on the Crave Rock app. It just
Awesome.
happened within weeks after we launched the app. I was
Yeah.
like, dude, yes,
And
we're
now you're
having
gonna
Joe
put me
Rogan on
up
here.
there with that list of people. I can't. That's surreal to me. So
Yeah, man,
I
absolutely,
appreciate that.
absolutely. I love what you do, man.
Thank you.
Definitely love
Thank
what you do.
I do too. I really do. I mean, I do. Or I wouldn't keep doing it. You are episode 307, which is badass. Like
That's badass.
every number. I mean, just keeps going. I
So
thought I
did
was
you
done after
start at
10.
one? Did you start at one or did you start at
I
like
start.
50 or
No, I started at one on Facebook Live on June or July the 30th of 2000 or 2021, I think, or 2020
2021?
or 2020.
Wow.
I don't know. I have it written down. But my buddy from that I graduated high school with, he lives in Nashville now, and he's a musician and an actor. He was the very first guest, and he's still my good friend, and doing big things. I actually went down to Nashville and saw him get married this past summer. So that was awesome.
That's badass.
It was 80s hair metal band themed wedding. So
Oh yeah.
it was awesome.
Hold on, I'm stepping off camera just for a second
Oh, you're
because
good. We're getting a great look at a view of the logo. Great view of it. Yeah, folks, please go to the App Store or the what do they call it, the Google Play Store or any of the app stores that you use and download the Crave Rock app. It's awesome. It plays in the background. It's free. You can watch videos of the songs. You can there's constantly music playing 24 hours a day. Anyway, I was kind of plugging your stuff for you.
I appreciate it, man. The
Yes, sir.
ice maker, I'm next to an ice maker and it was really loud.
Dude, I have that problem too. Like that's weird that you say that. My ice maker went out in my refrigerator like over the summer, and I ended up well, actually, it was the drummer from the band. He came over. He's like, I can fix that because I ordered the parts, and now it's louder than hell. My cat looks at like the back of it like all
Yeah,
the
like
time, and I'm like, it's just ice maker. It's fine, but it's so loud.
yeah,
But
this thing is loud, man,
it
and
still
it's
makes
here
ice.
on the bar next to me. I'm actually set up in the dining room at the house,
Hmm.
and it's yeah, it's on the bar next to me, and it's just really, really freaking loud. The fan comes on. It's like, dude, I'm in the middle of something here, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Shh, you know what I
Shut
mean?
up. God, man.
Next, let's see. Okay, so this Friday I have Crimson Throne on. That's gonna be a fun show. I can't wait for that. That's at 6 p.m. And then I just booked a band from Berlin, Germany. It'd be the second band I've had in Berlin, or not? I mean in Germany, not in Berlin, but the second band in Germany. I've done 24 countries, which is just crazy.
That's wild.
In almost all 50 states. I think I have 13 or 12 or 13 more states to go. But um, but the band's called Flanger, and we don't have a time set yet, but I'm sure that I will by tomorrow. Um, and then I talked to my buddy. I have a friend named Tom that lives in London that was first on as a guest, and he co-hosts with me whenever I have bands in Europe because it's in his
Uh-huh.
time zone, and we're like buddies. I haven't met him in person yet, but like, there's no way I would have met him if I wouldn't have started the show. We were
Right.
talking about that, and it's so surreal. And I probably wouldn't have met you either.
Right.
So thank you, Chris, for being on and becoming a friend.
Absolutely,
I'm a
man.
fan of
Absolutely. I
the
had a
Krave
blast.
Rock app. I have it on everything, and I'll listen to it. Usually when I'm working, I'm working on the show and stuff, and I'm emailing people and for potential guests and things. I have it going in the background. It's just it's a great idea, and we appreciate you doing this.
Well, thank you, man. Thank you.
Sure.
It's been a blast. This this was it's just one of those things, like I said, just talking to my buddy and just appreciating what he did. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2017 from cancer.
Sorry to hear that.
But so he didn't get to see, where we are today. And I think
Yeah.
that where we are today is surmountable difference from where we began. And I can't wait to see where this goes. And whether it ever makes a dime or not, I've had nothing but fun. And I've listened to some really, really great artists, and I've had the opportunity to do world premieres and see these guys as well, see these guys live, to see parts of the country that I never thought I would see, and to see venues that I never thought I would be able to see inside. You hear about them, uh, and then you're actually there. It's just kind of it's so cool to be able to live this life and enjoy what I do. And if someday it pays the bills, that's even better. That's
Yeah.
even better. And I talk about going to these festivals or going to when we were young. I would love to get to a point to where I can leave my job and I can go do these things and not only see these bands live, but also to interact with the fans that admire these bands the same way that I do.
Yeah.
And I think that connection, there's something special about a fan and a band and a band, and it just I don't know how to describe it, man, but there's just something really special about that connection. And I hope that that through the years, I hope that we've helped a band grow. Um, because to me, that's what it's all about is just getting them exposure and the fan getting to appreciate something that normally they wouldn't get a chance to do?
Sure. You
So, yeah.
you guys ever speaking on that a little bit or elaborating on that a little bit? You guys ever do contests or anything where listeners could gain experience like that, or has it not come to that yet? Where you're able to
We
offer
have,
something?
we have, and I'm gonna bring back. We did a little thing briefly called Krave Rock Trial by Fire, and so that's something we're gonna bring back. We also have something really cool for the listener and for the bands coming. It's just a matter of the creative department, which happens to be myself, having the time to. We've got the audio, right? It's just the visual production that I'm struggling with.
Hit me up. Hit me up.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Because
I love to
this,
do that kind of stuff, and maybe we can help. That's I think that was in the first email that I sent you.
yeah, yeah,
Maybe
it
we could
was.
help each other or something. Before I even
Yes,
knew anything about anything, I just got the app and that was it. But
right.
I think as promoters of all these great bands and doing whatever we're doing and however we're doing it, I think it's best we all work together. I don't know, not all the time. You don't want to work with everybody just because
Right.
just be overwhelmed because you want to keep it Crave Rock and I want to keep it Acute Mania Live.
Yes.
But as a together thing, the sky's the limit.
And
To the moon, or
I
whatever.
definitely agree with you, man. I'm always open to talking to someone and collaborating with someone who, first of all, knows what they're doing, right? Or at least has somewhat of an idea. I'm not saying that I know what I'm doing because,
I still don't either.
yeah,
Honestly,
yeah,
yeah,
exactly. I don't know exactly what the hell I'm doing, but I think that I have a standard, I guess, is what I'm looking for. And
yeah, yeah. You do.
I'm 100% willing to work with somebody who has standards and kind of has a
Passion.
vision for what they're looking to achieve. And yeah, man, I'm all on board because all that does is just help get the word out, right?
Exactly.
And back in the day when I started this, I had somebody say, "Why rock? I don't understand. Why rock?" Well, first of all, if it was something else, I would be faking it.
Exactly. That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
number two is okay. Uh, let's say I become a pop station and it's constant
God
24/7
forbid. God forbid, right?
Taylor Swift, God forbid. Um nothing against Taylor Swift, but
Oh
anyway.
yeah.
Um I said, dude, why would I want to be this little bitty fish in this great big pond of pop radio stations, right? Rock music is small. It's small.
You think
And
it
if
is
I can
still?
be a
You think it
bigger
is?
fish,
Do you really
do
think it
what?
is? Do you really think it is that it's still
I
small?
think it is. I mean, once again, going back to kind of what I said earlier, I think that we're turning a curve, and I think that rock music is making a major comeback because we have a lot of young bands. There are a lot of young bands.
Badass bands too. I mean,
Badass
yeah,
young bands, exactly, man. And
yeah,
and
man, it's
you even
fun.
look at the guys that are charting right now. So David Draymond and Johnny are with Angel Song, Nothing More and Disturbed, collaborating for that song, right?
That's yeah.
Number one song in the country in rock active rock radio right now. And Johnny is not an old guy. He's a young guy. And
Yeah.
then you have even younger bands that are up there. I mean, Bad Omens, those aren't old guys.
That was the last band I saw before everything shut down for COVID
Oh, really?
in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. And then you have The Warning, which is, three sisters that in their very early 20s.
There was
If
there was
if you
also
have all these young artists that are
yeah.
making all this badass music, then of course the young people are going to follow.
There was a
And then
few bands
that's
that I
also
saw on your. I'm sorry to interrupt you. There was a few bands that I saw on the list of what you had played on the app
uh-huh.
that I'd even heard of that I looked up and I was like, these guys are this. So it's about discovery too for anybody. You're
Yes.
you're gonna find bands on Crave that you've never heard of yet,
Right.
and you're gonna go find it, and that helps that band. And on
Yes.
and on and on. It's just
Yes.
it's terrific what you're doing, and that's why I wanted to have you on because it would you know the viewers are used to seeing me interview a band. It's just
Yeah.
another band, and they're so good. They're so good, and I can't lie to any of these. I don't lie to anybody. I try to be
Right.
as honest as I can. Stuff is great because it is great.
Yes.
And a lot of these bands they sound like very similar to other bands, but I try not to compare because it sounds like them.
Yes.
There's something in that music that they make it their own, and I know that they do that because of, I mean, there's so many influences coming through with all the members of the band. It's just it's the shit to be able to talk to them,
Yes.
and figure all that out. But it's also the shit to talk to you, and because you're doing kind of the same thing, and you're
Yeah.
playing this stuff,
Yeah.
so everybody can hear it.
Well, one thing that I think is people don't realize there are so many parallels to owning a radio station and being in a band.
Yeah,
There are really so many because the end goal is the same. Getting
yeah,
listeners, getting people to, buy into what you're selling, right? And oh, man, as a band grows, we grow and vice versa, and I think that that helps me appreciate what these bands go through because it's a struggle, man. I see tour buses break down. I see,
I did on
you
that
know,
tour. On that tour I was on.
oh, really? Yeah. I've
The show
been,
that Matt was performing at. Yeah, I missed almost their entire set because I was out in the parking lot helping with the van that was the turbo went out on the diesel van, and I had my buddy that's a diesel mechanic on the phone talking to them. So I was outside in the parking lot the entire set of theirs,
yeah.
and I caught like the end of it. But I was, able to talk to them enough to give them a business card and be, come on the show and I'll talk to you. I promise. you know.
There you go. There you go.
But
Yeah.
yeah, things like that happen though.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
reality. It's reality.
It is. It is. And so, uh, it's just like I said, man, it's a wild ride and I'm just glad to be a part of it. It's never been about me. Yes, the radio station or the app, everything. It has my name on it, but it's not about me. It just I just couldn't think of a better name.
I think it's great because it's a cool. You crave rock
Yeah.
because Crave Rock has it. I don't know something
Yeah.
like that's kind of cheesy, but it's
Oh,
that's
no, no,
you know
something along that line. Way back in the day, before the relaunch, our thing was do you crave rock? And then we would come back, consider yourself satisfied. And then now we have people because on the app, which I haven't mentioned yet, you can send us a voice recording. You can send us a voice message, and we've had already people do
I did
that.
see that.
They'll say their name and where they're from, and I crave rock, and we'll put you on the radio,
I'm gonna
and
do
that's
that.
what
I'm
we've
gonna do
done.
that. I'm gonna do
Hell yeah, man, do it,
that.
do it.
And everybody else, you guys all do that too. Everybody,
Yes, the
just
more the
any
merrier.
name.
Give me more work. I have not enough to do. And I mean that. The more busy I am, the happier I am. The
Yeah,
the
because it's
more
something you
that
love to
is
do.
going on.
It's your brand,
Yeah,
and it's fun. When it becomes work, it's no fun anymore.
that's
I
right.
do. I get busy. I get busy. Sometimes I've done 2 shows a day. Only a
Yeah,
couple times because I don't like to do that. But
yeah,
I've had a week where I'm just full of shows almost every night. I try not to do that either, but it's when they're available. I
yeah.
can't. It's not when I'm available. It's when they're available. So
Exactly.
they're
Yes.
busy as well. So, but yeah, but when it becomes too much and it's overwhelming, you just have a breakdown. That's just okay. Then you just
Yeah.
got to take a break. But it's fun to be busy when it's steady, when it's
Yes.
steady stuff. Like when I
Yeah.
got back from that tour, I had nobody scheduled, so I'm on the ball trying to. I'm on Instagram. I'm on everything that I know. I'm going back to bands that I haven't talked to in a while. And are you ready to schedule now? Things like that. And it gets overwhelming because I sit there and I'm like, tapping my fingers like, are they going to respond? Things like that. But that's just I'm used to it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Crimson Throne will be on Friday, and I'm excited for that.
There you
So
go.
I'll get a week here to kind of refresh a little bit more and make the show better. I mean, that's what it is. That's what you do when there's not. But of course, you're 24/7 though, so there's really not much stepping back other than because something's constantly playing, but you still get
Right.
time to step back and
Oh yeah. And we have, I mean, we do we do Crave Rock, which is myself doing the top five ads from the previous week. We also have Jackie Wild
I saw that. Yeah,
that scours the interwebs looking for the latest rock news. So it keeps her busy as well. So
she's got a great
uh,
voice too for radio.
well,
Also,
thank you, man. Thank you.
for sure.
She started out as a blogger. She
Really,
was with me back in 2017 and just writing blogs for the station. And then one day I said, let's get Jackie Wild on the radio. Let's put her
yeah,
on the radio and she was a blogger, so let's have her do news. So that's what she's doing. And we've been
awesome.
talking about uh having her do a morning show.
That'd be cool.
So I think that that's something that we are definitely considering doing because um, I do, even though we don't do a whole lot of personalities, I think that, people do every once in a while. I think people do want to hear a person talk,
Yeah,
so
for sure.
we haven't, that's something that we haven't done to this point yet, other than myself and her. But it's definitely something that we're looking at doing. I guess if you, the listeners out there, think that that's a good idea, if that's something that you want, because that's the other thing about this radio station is that we're building and we're growing and we always need ideas. and
Exactly.
we're always open to ideas. So if there's a suggestion out there, whether it's a song, a band, or uh, content for the station itself or the app, I had a really great. I have my development team looking into this right now on the app. Somebody said, "Hey, we want to be able to buy the music off the app."
That's a good
Um,
idea.
and I said, "Holy shit, what a great idea!"
Yeah,
Because this is a great opportunity for the bands to make more money, right?
for sure.
So they're looking into that, and that's something that after the first quarter of the year, or in the first quarter of next year, that we might be able to offer.
That's
I'm just
badass.
waiting to hear back and see what the possibility is of that. But I think it's something that we're going to be doing, and so we're definitely constantly growing, and we're definitely open to ideas because this is not my radio station. This is everybody else's,
Yeah.
and that's
Let's make it
the
awesome.
bands
Let's make it
and the
awesome, right?
fans. Thank you,
Yeah,
man. Thank you.
that's yeah. Download the app. Trust me. I've had this since Inside the Trojan Horse premiered their song. What 2 weeks ago, or was it last week? I can't remember right, but
2 weeks ago.
I've had it since then, and I like I said I put it in the background when I'm working on things, when I'm sending emails and things. I just put it in the background and then sometimes I'll stop and be like, oh, song's badass, and I'll look and be like, oh, that wasn't who I thought it was, and then I will become a fan of that band, But
Yeah,
that's what's so
yeah,
awesome about it, and
yeah.
it sounds good. There's no glitching or anything. It's not. It's badass. So check it out.
Thank you, man. And we're
Uh,
on Alexa as well. So just tell Alexa
okay.
to play
I'll
Krave Rock.
always give the guest 5 minutes or so, or however long they need to just plug the crap out of themselves. So I'm going to give you that time now.
Well, follow us everywhere at Krave Rock. That's with a K. And download the Krave Rock app. Leave us a review. That is the biggest thing. We need reviews because, those algorithms mean everything. And the more reviews you have, the higher up because right now, we're almost invisible. You have to know what you're looking for. And because it is, like I said before, we're not even a year old, this app yet. So getting the word out, definitely, tell your friends if you are a fan of hard rock music, and metal, and everything in between, then definitely, tell your friends and give us a listen, leave us a review. If you have a suggestion, we're not afraid of fucking suggestions, man. We
Yeah.
want you to suggest something. And you know what? If it's a badass idea, if it rocks, we're gonna kick it. We're gonna do it because like I said, man, this is not our station. This is our station. This is our gift to you. That's why we make it free. You're never ever going to pay for it. It's never going to be something that you ever have to pay for. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
Um, so, um, we want to just, man, we just want to be your go-to. I mean, and then I know that's corny as hell,
But
right?
it's
But
yeah.
it's the damn truth. We want to be your go-to, and I think that we've got something that you're not going to find anywhere else, at least in one place, right? I mean, I just don't think that. I don't think uh, that there's a place out there for your modern rock, active rock enthusiast. I don't think that there's one single app that has a 24/7 commercial free frame that provides music videos and podcasts, popular podcasts. I just don't think that there's anything out there like that. And we take requests, man, as well. So um, we are a very user-friendly radio station, and man, we're welcoming of all. We want you to come. We want you to listen. We want you to give your feedback, and we want you to follow the bands that we follow because that's what it's all about, man. Community.
Chris, thank you so much for being on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. And I will clip out some
Likewise.
things and post them up, and for everybody, so they'll come and watch this show, and so they'll go and download the app. Please go download the app. It's badass. Trust me, trust me on this. It's
Thank you, man. I
awesome.
appreciate it.
It's the shit. But yeah, let's work together. If there's anything I can offer you to to do anything or whatever, just let me know, and
Absolutely, man.
we'll
We'll definitely bounce some ideas off of each other.
sure. But definitely come back on the show. Maybe after next year sometime when
Yeah.
a big launch or something, we'll have you on and we'll talk about that and where the station is now. I mean, I think there's only one way but up at this
Yeah.
point, right?
Yeah.
So
That's right.
I think it's a badass idea, and I'm going to stay a listener because
Thank you, man.
this is
I
awesome.
appreciate it.
This is good stuff. Um,
All right, well,
the The band I want to play out of the show is a band called Curses that I met on the show a long time ago. They've been on 3 times, and they're from Southern West Virginia. They're called Curses, and they're actually used to be signed to Sharp Tone, but now they're independent and they're still touring and playing with a lot of badass bands. We'll listen to their new single, Never Ends. I will be back on Friday with Matt Miller that was in the chat and the band Crimson Throne that he's in. So I will see you guys then. That's at 6 p.m. And like I said, I'll put some clips. Let me see. I just got sidetracked. I'm sorry. But Chris, thanks again for being on. I will talk to you soon, I'm sure.
Okay.
I'm
Sounds
sure.
good, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Here is Curses with Never Ends, and I will see you guys on Friday. Have a great evening.
Success, ready.